A family funeral in the southwest region has turned into a drastic talk of war between family members. In this edition of the news, we bring you to a family that was mourning and later turned violent against each other. Also in Cameroon, Cameroonians across are mourning the death of a legendary singer, Bismar, who died in an unforeseen circumstance in Cameroon's economic capital city, Douala. Now, we shall be telling you in this edition of the news on just what impact the 10-year-long armed conflict in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon has affected the health sector. But what are the people doing in order to revamp the health sector necessary for the continuous existence of the people in these conflict-stricken regions? These stories and more will be yours in this edition of the news. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining Equinoxe Television on our primetime newscast. We're live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city, Equinoxe Center News Desk. Welcome. Once again, you made the right choice to be informed by the best of television network. This is Equinoxe Television, live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. For decades, the Bogo cattle market that's in the Grand North region of Cameroon has operated without electricity, potable drinking water, despite security challenges, despite the economic importance this market holds to the very existence of the Bogo Castle and several other public facilities and institutions of the Far North region of Cameroon. A newly installed management committee of the market is now determined to bring back electricity to the Bogo market, security, and also portable drinking water. They made their voices heard during the election and consequent installation ceremony. In the following report, Innocent as the first takes us to the Bogo market, its initial challenges, and what the people are projecting as solutions to the problems faced for decades.
The Bogo cattle market in the Far North region comes alive every Thursday from as early as 7 a.m. Hundreds of traders and headers from Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria, Sudan, and the Central African Republic converge on the bustling marketplace. The buying and selling of cattle continues until about 11 p.m., making Bogo one of northern Cameroon's largest cross-border cattle trading hubs. But behind the vibrant commercial activity lies a different reality. For more than 5 decades, the market has operated without basic infrastructure. The lack of water and electricity makes business difficult, worsens working conditions, and contributes to insecurity. The market also loses revenue as cattle enter from different directions, allowing some traders to bypass official control and market dues.
On ne parvient pas à contrôler les commerçants et on ne parvient pas à récupérer tout ce que le marché prévoit.
With trading stretching late into the night, traders and herders are calling on security officials to reinforce security in and around the market.
Concernant l'insécurité, vraiment, nous sommes en train de faire une demande auprès de forces de maintien de l'ordre.
They are also urging local authorities to provide electricity and a reliable source of water for the cattle to improve trading conditions.
Dans de très bonnes conditions.
To address these challenges, the Regional Support Project for Pastoralism and Livestock Commercialization in the Cameroon, Nigeria, Chad border areas, known as PASCO, has launched a modernization drive.
Entreprise de mettre en place un comité.
A newly installed market management committee will oversee transparent management, coordinate with local authorities, and ensure market revenue is reinvested in improving infrastructure.
En faire un marché de référence d'attractivité.
Backed by funding from the French government through the French Development Agency, the project also plans to provide water and electricity, paving the way for a safer, more modern, and better managed cattle market.
And in the northwest and southwest English-speaking regions of Cameroon, local authorities are trying to gather the broken pieces of a broken health structure that has suffered hard within the context of the close to 10-year-long Anglophone crisis, called it an armed conflict in the Anglophone or English-speaking northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. Remember that statistics say that some over 210 health facilities have been adversely affected by the crisis, leaving the poor people in that difficulties in the quest for health services and healthcare delivery. A case in point is Baligashu in the Ngoketunja division of the northwest region of Cameroon, where community stakeholders are moving on what they call community health facilities in order to be able to attend to the crying health needs of the local population. Mala Glory has more in the following report.
Beyond the displacement, kidnappings, killings and burnings within the over 10 years Anglophone crisis, access to healthcare remains a veritable challenge to the people found in this region. Statistics from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reveals that more than 210 health facilities have been burned in the Anglophone regions, worsening the existing concern of inadequate health facilities faced by towns and villages in these regions, Baligashu being a case in point.
This population suffered for so many years to access health facilities. You have traveled far away and you can see the state of our roads. So we wanted to shorten and to curb the suffering of the population by creating this modest but well-equipped health center where they can have primary health care, and for cases that they might not handle, they refer them then to other most qualified health facilities.
The disturbing reality left villagers and inhabitants of neighboring villages through extreme difficulties in the quest for health care.
This is something we were long waiting. Honorable, we say thank you. And very soon it will develop to a certain level. And anybody that is coming in here, he will not be transferred to other services. He will get well here.
It was this disturbing reality that led the people's representative, Honorable Banwe Emmanuel, to nurse the idea of community health center.
It is good for a community that is. This village has more than 3,000 inhabitants. And then it's not only Baligashu. We have a brotherly village here, Baligansen. We have Mbeve just across the river here, definitely, and they are going to take possession of this structure, benefit from it, and a population that is in good health takes care of itself, because here we have a farming population, dynamic farming population, and to work in the farms they need to be in good health.
Like Oliver Twist, the grateful people say they look forward to a better road network, educational facilities, and a total return to normalcy in their locality and all over the Anglophone regions.
I will stay within the context of the Anglophone regions to talk about how traditional rulers have been faring, especially within the context where traditional rulers have been hardest hit and even policies affected. And one of such traditional rulers who has been outstanding has been the Fon of Bafut, and of course His Royal Majesty Fonabumbi, the second of Bafut, the revered traditional ruler of Bafut in the Mezam, who is set to undertake a public visit to the United Kingdom to meet with sons and daughters of Bafut, but other Cameroonians of that region in the diaspora. The highly anticipated tour marks only his second major public engagement since his historic reception of Pope Leo II in Bermuda that cemented his statue as a key peace broker. Unlike his first outing, which was rooted on diplomatic protocol, his UK visit is focused on reconnecting with sons and daughters, but also community stakeholders abroad in order to sort for ways out of to move his community out of the effects of the Anglophone crisis. Throughout the protracted Anglophone crisis that has rocked the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, the fund has remained largely unconnected, that is, ensconced in his ancestral palace in Bafut. Known for his measured calm and neutrality, he has deliberately avoided the partisan fray, instead quietly maintaining traditional authority and advocating for dialogue. His decision to travel now is being interpreted as a strategic move to rally, interpreted as which is interpreted as a strategic move to seek for the preservation of culture, but also the return of normalcy within his locality, that is the Bafut subdivision of the Mezam in the northwest region. And now we move on to something else, ICT, to say that a Cameroonian software engineer whose name we got as Randy Kimbi has been awarded an excellent, as you can see on your screens, grade after successfully defending his final year project that is an artificial intelligence system. And of course, it is said to be one of its kind at the moment where internet penetration is high in Cameroon, and also most persons making use of ICT tools in order to be able to shape their businesses and activities in Cameroon. As you can see on your screens, the AI-powered framework uses a laptop's built-in camera to detect whether a learner is attentive, distracted, or drowsy. When it senses that the student's focus is slipping, it is automatically played and an audio alert to regain their attention before continuing to monitor the session in real time. Built entirely with accessible technology, the system runs on a standard laptop without requiring any special hardware or device, making it practical and affordable for students across Cameroon and the African continent. The project is also part of Randy Kimbi's broader vision through the Gisami, an online academy he is developing to equip university students with practical digital and artificial intelligence skills that can create income opportunities. As I said, it is a Cameroonian software engineering student, Randy Kimbi, who's been awarded an excellent grade after successfully defending his final year project in an artificial intelligence system designed to monitor students' attention during online learning processes. We shall be coming back to that in subsequent editions of information on Equinoxe Radio and television. Now, time for us to go back to one of our lead stories. Cameroonian music lovers have been mourning the death of Cameroonian musician Bismar. Bismar died in an unexpected. The unexpected news of the death of Bismar rocked the city of Douala, but also the entire Cameroon, especially within fans who saw him lastly active, alive. And of course, they say that the man has gone, but his music will live to tell his story. Details with Malak Glory in the following report.
Shock and disbelief gripped the family residence of Bismar at Carrefour Conquête in Douala. In deep sorrow, family, friends and fans have gathered to mourn the passing of a Cameroonian music icon who died on July 29 at the family residence following a prolonged illness. His passing away leaves a profound emptiness among his loved ones and the entire Cameroonian music industry.
Il est décédé hier aux environs de 20h15 minutes. On dit souvent c'est Dieu qui peut souvent nous soulager, mais hier quand même on s'est dit que Dieu pouvait opérer le miracle, mais...
Born in 1971 in Konsamba, Nubitsi Fotsoloik Rumiaud, better known by his stage name as Bismar, passed away at the age of 55. He gave himself a respected voice on the African music scene and a fervent advocate for cultural music. After battling with the cancer of the heart for several months, he ultimately succumbed to death, leaving behind an artistic legacy that will resonate across generations.
C'est depuis le mois d'avril, avril à mai 2025 que Bismar est souffrant. Il est allé jusqu'en Europe s'est fait soigner à travers les différents chimios. Donc il est revenu là, ça fait carrément 3 semaines. Le temps de poursuivre son traitement. C'est comme ça que la journée d'hier a été très fatale pour lui.
Lui, il ne buvait pas, il ne fumait pas. Pas de petits désordres. Franchement, c'est un garçon, je n'ai pas encore vu de garçon comme lui. Parce que je sais que la majorité aujourd'hui, où tu bois un peu, ou après tu fumes, ou après tu fais des désordres avec les femmes, Bissi n'était pas comme ça.
To his loved ones, Bismar was above all a man of peace and a unifier, always ready to give a helping hand to those in need.
Bismar prenait le problème de tout le monde comme son problème.
C'est un homme qui a toujours été humble, toujours disponible, toujours gentil et accueillant. Dans tous les conseils aussi, à nous, hommes des médias, communicateurs et tout. Donc je garde l'esprit de l'homme.
A native of Banjul in the West region, the artist made his name on the national scene. Throughout his career, he captivated audience with major works including Simo, released in early 2000s, and Mutu, a track born from a cultural fusion project with French dancer and choreographer Lila Kalia. The performer also distinguished himself at major cultural events. Today, the microphone is silent and the stage is empty. Bismar's voice has gone silent, but his beautiful rhythms lives on in the hearts of many.
And without the transition, we'll take you to sports to say that confidence is building within the camp of the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon, who are on parts of the African Women's Cup of Nations ongoing in the North African nation of Morocco. The confidence within the Lionesses followed their 2-1 victory over Mali. They are now eyeing a spot in the FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil as they next meet with Ghana on Sunday. Details of Sematic and Gabriel in the following report.
Players in the den of the indomitable Lionesses in Morocco remains optimistic following their opening victory over Mali. But there is no time to relax. We are very excited after starting the tournament with a victory, which is very important. Cameroon was more careful in front of the goals, and our main strength was the unity amongst us. The win was very important for the start, and it's a good moral booster for the remaining games. Mali was a good team. Next up for Cameroon, the Black Queens of Ghana. Ghana is a strong team and one of the favorites in Africa, so we are preparing, putting in mind that Ghana is a solid side. Ghana also started strong, beating Cabo Verde in their first game, so both teams come in with momentum. Inside the Lionesses camp, the players know exactly what is at stake. We got into the game timidly, so we have to correct that and put more pressure, since the next game is against another strong and solid team with individual players who can cause problems at any time. A win against Ghana will be huge. It would put the indomitable Lionesses one step closer to the knockout round. Host nation Morocco has already become the first team to qualify for the next phase, and Cameroon will be desperate to join them.
On this note, still in sports, Cameroon's Mary Celine Baba Matia has won a bronze medal at the minus 52 kilograms contest in judo. The Cameroonian defeated Tinka Easton of Australia in bronze medal at the ongoing Commonwealth Game in Glasgow, Scotland. Team Cameroon, remember, got a gold medal from Emmanuel Seme, and of course this has added to the basket of medals so far for Team Cameroon as the games continue in Scotland. It is all for the first part of the news, ladies and gentlemen. Talking Point is up next. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our guest is Bernice Nkeke. She is of Bafut Major, UK, and of course, with her, we're going to be discussing issues affecting rural communities in the English-speaking northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, particularly Bafut, of course, within the context of the Anglophone crisis that has rocked communities and, of course, devastated structures, livelihoods, now also healthcare. Thanks for accepting to be guests on Equinoxe Talking Point tonight. You joining us from the UK. First question, I want to get from you as elite official sons and daughters of Bafut, which is one of the communities, of course, in the northwest region that is also feeling the pinch of the Anglophone crisis over there out of the Cameroonian frontiers and even the African continent. First thing, just how preoccupied are you and your people with the realities back home, especially within the context of the crisis, the security crisis that has been running on for close to 10 years today?
We remain committed to supporting humanitarian and development efforts, advocating for peace through dialogue, and contributing to the recovery and long-term development of Bafut through initiatives such as this convention. And we stand with the Bafut people at home and abroad, and development we must bring into Bafut because our people need us. Thank you.
Thank you. You went directly straight to this much talked about convention. Of course, we had that in that first part of the news, where the much respected ruler of Bafut is expected to join you guys over there to sit together and see how you can effectively develop back home. Now, I go back to that same question. I wanted to know just how preoccupied are you with the realities back home, given the effects of the crisis on infrastructural development, health, education, livelihood. We're talking about economic infrastructures that have so far been broken and people displaced, with thousands finding themselves in other parts of Cameroon and some even in neighboring Nigeria.
About the ongoing crisis, which has also affected the Bafut community, the Bafut diaspora is deeply concerned about the impact of the crisis on the lives, livelihood, education, healthcare, and community infrastructures, and its impact upon the Bafut people.
Now, this is assuring to the people getting to listening to you or watching you right now from Bafut and other parts of the Mezam in the northwest region. Bernice Nkeke, I want to get this from you. We got in the first part that you're going to be having the reverend traditional ruler joining you there. He is one of those traditional rulers that stayed in their palace even within the context of the crisis at the time when most traditional rulers fled away. And of course, he too speaks less. He's been seen on rare occasions, and one of the last public outings as we got was during the visit of the Pope to Bamenda in the northwest region. How significant is his presence going to be on your event in the UK and the general Bafut people out of the Cameroonian frontiers?
You asked also about the significance of his presence in the convention, or in the entire convention in the world. His presence is a historical honor and a powerful symbol of unity, cultural pride, and continuity. It strengthens the bond between the Fon and the diaspora, inspires younger generations to embrace their heritage, and reaffirm the Bafut community's shared commitment to preserving its tradition while contributing to development in Bafut and across other communities.
Anglophone has been a reserved type, staying clear of partisan politics and also rarely speaking, hardly present in some other official gatherings. One would be wondering just how much you needed to put in place to be able to convince him to join you guys. Tell us this. How are you guys able to convince the fund of Bafut to join you over there?
About how we managed to convince the fund to leave the palace for this event. It's really an interesting question. And the fund's attendance reflects his unwavering commitment to the welfare of his people, both at home and in the diaspora. He recognizes the importance of engaging with the Bafut community abroad, encouraging unity, supporting development initiatives, and strengthening our cultural identity. His decision to attend is a demonstration of his leadership and dedication to the future of the Bafut people.
Now, can you tell us, now, you said you're also going to be concerned about impacting home. Tell us practically what are the things that you intend to target as far as home impact, practical infrastructural development and transformation, reconstruction is concerned.
Our immediate target is to raise funds for the restoration and improvement of hospitals and healthcare facilities damaged by the crisis in the Cameroons. The long-term impact will be improved across by quality healthcare, stronger community infrastructures, and a better quality of life for the people of Bafut, which is our responsibility as the Bafut people to look after our own.
And now, Ms. Bernice, before I take leave of you, then I wouldn't go without getting this. Just what are the kind of things that are expected to be showcased there? Of course, you're going to not just be having people from Bafut origin, maybe Cameroonians from across the 10 regions, and even Africans who might be joining you over there. So what are we expecting on the menu, and just how much will this be able to impact some other communities positively so they can take on the relay baton?
It showcases the hospitality, warmth, generosity, and the welcoming nature of the Bafut people, while fostering friendship, mutual respect, and peaceful coexistence. In doing so, we celebrate our shared humanity and the value of unity, which stands amongst us, the Bafut people.
That was Mrs. Bernice Kalko, who joined us on Talking Points live from the UK. And of course, we had time with her to discuss just how preoccupied the Bafut diaspora is to the realities back home, but on the global scale, the entire northwest and southwest English-speaking regions of Cameroon. What impacts they intend to bring as far as better to get the lives better of a people that have been battered by close to 10-year-long armed conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, it is on that note that we'll put an end to today's edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. We thank you for your keen attention. Do not go away. News continues on Equinoxe at 8 p.m. You're going to be having a full edition in the French language. Have a nice evening.